Good morning, class. My name is Bernard Butts. I'd like to welcome you to social media in the workplace. I'm sure everyone here knows what social media is. However, my question is, I want to know, does everyone here know the appropriate way to use social media when we're at work? Now, I understand we're at a marketing firm and using social media is a part of our jobs. But unfortunately, many of us within the company have been using on the clock time to visit sites such as Twitter, Facebook, that aren't work related. Hence this training. The training's been sent from corporate and it's mandatory for all new employees. So first I would like to show you a statement from management. Here at BB Software, we understand the importance of social media and the tremendous advantages it has to offer. Additionally, our company's success can be directly attributed to the social media boom of the last 5 years. We also understand that in order for our employees to be successful, social media is a valuable tool they use every day on the job. However, during recent months, our IT network administrators have noticed a huge increase in non-work related social media activity throughout the company. As a result, corporate has developed a brief social media training session that is mandatory for all employees. Before we get started, I'd like to ask, has anyone been familiar or worked at a previous job that had a social media policy in place? And what were some of the rules that you guys had to follow at your last job? Okay. Now, another thing I'd like to let everyone in this room know is that when you were hired, you were given an employee handbook, and you also signed an agreement saying that you will follow the rules and regulations in the handbook. This is very important because failure to follow these rules and regulations could lead to disciplinary actions or possibly termination. The employee handbook is filled with useful information on the rules and regulations of the company. It is in the best interest of the employee to become familiar with this handbook and conduct his or herself accordingly. This slide is very important. Failure to comply with company rules and regulations as outlined in the employee handbook could lead to termination. Ignorance is not an excuse. Like I said before, we all signed a contract when we were hired, and we must follow the rules for social media use. Social media is a part of our job and can be used when it's work related. However, not on company time. Not personal visits to social media sites on company time. Now, there are numerous rules and regulations within the employee handbook, but we're going to focus on 3 key points from the handbook today, which pertain to our training, which are the key points in the contract we will be discussing today as they relate to the use of social media in the workplace are non-work related social media surfing while on the clock, policy prohibiting the publishing of company trade secrets on social media, unethical and inappropriate posts on social media by BB's marketing firm employees. Rule number 1, you must refrain from using social media while on the clock or while using equipment we provide unless it is work related, as authorized by your supervisor or other member of management, or consistent with the applicable use of electronic communication policy. Does everyone understand what this slide means? No unauthorized web surfing, social media browsing while on company time, unless it's directly related to the job at hand. Next slide. Rule number 2, maintain the confidentiality of the company trade secrets and proprietary of confidential information. Proprietary of confidential information. Do not post internal reports, policies, procedures, or other internal business-related confidential communications. This is very important here because here at BB's marketing firm, we're in a very competitive market. Trade secrets could leak and could cost us to lose business, which could in turn cause us to lose jobs. We're in a very competitive market, very competitive business, and we need to make sure our company secrets stay safe. Rule number 3 that we're going to discuss today: you don't have to be on the clock to get in trouble. This is very important. According to our ethics policy, which we all sign along with our contract, inappropriate postings that may include discriminatory remarks, harassment, and threats of violence or similar inappropriate or unlawful conduct will not be tolerated and may subject you to disciplinary action up to and including termination. As an employee, you represent the company 24/7. By signing the ethics clause, you agree to be bound by these terms. This is very important. It's very important. You can be at home and you had a problem with a coworker earlier in the day and you post something negative, harassing or derogatory towards the company or another employee, it could cost you your job. These are very important. This post here: don't get fired for posting on social media. Now, I'm not here to scare anyone and threaten anyone about losing your jobs, but I'm here to reinforce the policies which we all agree to upon the condition of our employment. And here are some examples of people who lost their jobs, who used bad judgment and decided to post things on social media and eventually got fired. This picture here is a guy that worked at a fast food restaurant, Taco Bell. He decided to post himself licking tacos, which eventually got sold to customers. Needless to say, he got fired. And this is a picture of a Denver, Colorado high school math teacher who, on her own personal time, on her own personal Facebook page, decided to post herself smoking marijuana and also displaying her views on the use of medicinal marijuana and such. With being in her position, high school teacher, she's a role model, and this eventually got her fired. And this is a famous actor, voiceover comedian, Gilbert Gottfried, who made some very distasteful remarks towards the tsunami victims a couple years ago. He used to be the spokesman for Aflac, and needless to say, he got fired. So this is to show you the wide range of things that can happen. You don't have to just be a BB marketing firm employee. This actually happens to world famous people as well. Teachers, it runs the gamut. This is another thing that gets you fired. This is a picture of an employee from another marketing firm who decided to call in sick, but also decided that she was going to go out partying and post pictures of it on Facebook. This post reads, partying while out, sick, and posted on social media, and she says, keep me hydrated on my sick day. And it's just like the others, she got fired. Another way to lose your job is complaining about your job, your work conditions, or your employer, or your manager, whatnot, on social media. There's ways to diffuse this situation. It's better to approach the manager, the coworker, but to go home and post negative things about someone on Facebook and slander someone could cost you your job. As the Donna will say, you're fired. Summary. The three components of the contract we discussed were non-work related social media surfing while on the clock, the policy prohibiting the publishing of company trade secrets on social media, and unethical, inappropriate posts on social media by BB marketing firm employees. Failure to comply with these rules and regulations outlined in the employee handbook could potentially lead to disciplinary action and or termination. Next, I would like to play a social media game. Social media question and answer game. And I have 7 questions here. And I'm going to read them off, and I'd like to see if you guys can answer these questions. When is personal social media allowed? Anyone? On your own time, absolutely. You can check your Twitter feed whenever you want. True or false? That's false. Not on company time. Computers at your desk are not monitored. That's also false. When you signed your employee confidentiality agreement in the beginning, when you came on board, you were informed that computers were monitored and that they were supposed to be used for work only. Personal attack on a coworker via social media is okay as long as I'm off the clock. That's also false. You can still be fired or disciplined for social media posts while at home or away from work. You still represent the company 24/7. That's absolutely right. Number 6. I can't be held responsible for what I post on my own computer. That's also true. That goes back to question number 4 and 5. You are held responsible for your posts because you represent the company 24/7. As long as you're an employee of BB's marketing firm, it's important that you follow these rules as outlined in the employee handbook. I don't remember what the employee handbook says, therefore I can't be held responsible. True or false? That's also false. Remember earlier in the slide I mentioned that ignorance is not an excuse? That's something that we all need to remember and keep in mind. Well, that concludes our training for today. And as I said earlier, social media is an important part of our job here at BB's Marketing Firm, and is also contributed to our expansion and our fruition, our growth. So we understand the importance, but it has to be done responsibly. Strictly work-related social media activity, and you can check your social media on your own time. The thing to remember, you guys are being paid and you're at work. So we need you to work. Let's say for instance you had the Red Bull account and you were in charge of the Twitter feed for the Red Bull. It's okay to log on to that Twitter feed and post things on that account, but it has to be work related. So in conclusion, I just want to let you know that the rules are outlined in the employee handbook and they must be followed. And if not, they could lead to disciplinary action. So if we don't have any more questions, that will conclude our training for today. I want to thank everyone who showed up today, and I would advise all of you guys to get familiar with your employee handbook. Thank you very much.